I moved into Unit 6B about 6 months ago. It's a cheap one-bedroom apartment in an older brick building on the east side of the city. Nothing fancy, but it's clean, and the rent is low, which is rare now. I moved in after a breakup, needing a place fast. This was the only one available that didn't ask too many questions. The building's quiet, mostly retirees, a few single people like me. The woman in 6A is named Judith. She's in her 70s, polite but not very social. She has cats. You can smell them sometimes in the hallway. The unit on the other side of me, 6C, has been empty since I moved in, or at least, I thought it was empty. The first time I heard something through the wall, it was past midnight. I'd fallen asleep on the couch with the TV on low. I woke up to this faint sound, soft thumps, irregular, like someone bumping into furniture. I muted the TV and listened. It came from the wall I share with 6C. It lasted maybe a minute. Then silence. It didn't seem worth worrying about. Maybe a neighbor visiting or something. A few days later, I heard it again. This time, a scraping noise. Like a chair being dragged across the floor. Long, slow, then a thud. And again it came late. Just after 1 a.m. I asked the landlord the next day, trying to sound casual. "Is anyone living in 6C yet?" He looked surprised. "No, that unit's been vacant for over a year. Water's shut off. Why?" I hesitated. "Thought I heard something the other night. Probably the pipes." He shrugged. "Could be. Old buildings make old noises. But I knew it wasn't the pipes. Pipes don't cough." Yeah. A week later, I heard coughing from 6C. Raspy, wet, and close, like someone was standing on the other side of the wall, pressed right up to it. It went on for 5 minutes. I recorded it on my phone, but the mic didn't pick it up well. Just static and a few faint sounds. I started sleeping with the TV on. The noise helped. But every few nights, it would come back. The coughing. The dragging sound. And now something new. Whispers. Low and muffled, like a one-sided conversation. I began knocking on the wall when it happened. Once, I knocked hard 3 times. And after a few seconds, 3 knocks came back. Exactly the same rhythm. I froze. It didn't happen again for a while. I told myself it was an echo or some trick of acoustics. I even considered moving, but I'd just gotten this place. I couldn't afford to leave. Then came the smell. It started as a faint odor, like wet wood or mildew. Then it turned into something much worse, like rotting meat. The whole hallway began to stink. Judith from 6A complained to the landlord. He came by and said it was probably something in the vents or a dead animal in the walls. He said he'd check Unit 6C that weekend. But the night before he was supposed to check, the sounds got worse. At 2:18 a.m., I was woken up by a loud bang against the wall. I sat up in bed, heart pounding. Another bang. Then a dragging sound, fast and violent, like someone was being pulled across the floor. I got up and put my ear to the wall. It was quiet for a second. Then, a voice, muffled, male. I could only make out one word, repeated over and over. "Stop, stop, stop." I backed away from the wall and grabbed my phone. I started dialing 911. But then, it went silent. Completely. Not even the usual hum through the wall. I stayed up all night, didn't call the cops. I didn't know what I'd even say. The next morning, the landlord came. I pretended I was leaving for work so I could watch him open the door to 6C. I expected something. Anything. But he opened the door, stepped inside, and just stood there. After a minute, he waved me over. I hesitated, then walked in. The apartment was empty. Dust everywhere. No furniture, no carpet, no signs of life. Just a cracked window, bare walls, and the musty smell of a room sealed too long. But here's the thing. I saw something in the dust on the floor. Footprints, not boot prints or sneakers. Bare feet. Small. Like a child's. They led from the bathroom to the far wall, the one we share. Then they just stopped. No exit trail, no return steps. The landlord didn't say a word. He stared at the prints, then at the wall. He looked disturbed. Not scared exactly, but like he recognized something. He locked the unit again. That was 3 days ago. Last night, the noises came back. This time, they didn't stay on the other side of the wall. I woke up to the sound of my bedroom door closing. Not slamming, just gently, like someone easing it shut so they wouldn't wake me. And when I sat up, hard in my throat, I saw it. A single wet footprint on my side of the wall. I work the night shift at a gas station on Route 19, just outside a sleepy town most people drive through without noticing. It's usually quiet after midnight. Just me, the hum of the coolers, and the occasional trucker stopping for coffee. It's not a glamorous job, but it's easy money, and I like the solitude. About a month ago, something started happening that's been messing with my head. It's nothing big at first, just little things, the kind of stuff you could shrug off as being tired, overworked, or forgetful. It started with the bathroom light. Our gas station has a single unisex bathroom at the back. I always check it during my shift change, make sure it's clean and stocked. One night, around 2:30 a.m., I noticed the light was on. That was odd. I hadn't seen anyone go in. No cars outside but mine. I knocked, waited. Nothing. I opened the door. Empty. So I turned off the light. 5 minutes later, I went to stock the cooler and saw the light was on again. I froze. I hadn't heard the door. I hadn't seen anyone. Again, I checked. Empty. Maybe the switch was faulty, I thought. Old building, old wiring. I didn't report it right away. I didn't want to seem paranoid. But over the next few nights, it kept happening. Always between 2 and 3 a.m. Always the light. Sometimes I'd hear the faucet too. Just a slow drip, like someone had just finished washing their hands. I started watching the security monitor more carefully. Our camera doesn't cover the inside of the bathroom, obviously, but it shows the hallway. Twice, I saw the light go on without anyone going in. I saved the footage, showed it to my manager. He shrugged. "Motion sensor's probably buggy," he said. "Those old switches trip from vibrations. Don't worry about it." But I was worried, because 2 weeks ago, it escalated. That night, the light had already turned on twice. I'd gone back, turned it off, double-checked the door was latched. Then, around 2:40, I heard it. A cough. A dry, quiet cough. Like someone was trying not to make noise, but not quite succeeding. It came from the bathroom. I felt a chill crawl up my back. I waited, listening, heart pounding. Another cough. I slowly walked down the hall, trying to act normal in case someone had slipped in. But when I reached the door, nothing. Dead silent. The light was off. Off. I stood there, staring at the door. Then I put my hand on the knob. It was warm. Not just recently, touched warm. Body heat warm. Like someone had just let go of it seconds ago. I opened the door, empty. I wanted to quit right then and there, but I didn't. I don't know why. Maybe I was too tired. Maybe I didn't want to believe something was wrong. Maybe I needed the job. But I started keeping a notebook. Recording the times the light turned on, the sounds, anything unusual. There's a pattern. It always happens around the same time. Always late. Always that stretch between 2:15 and 2:50. Then, last Friday, I think someone was in there. It was 2:27 a.m. The light came on. I looked at the hallway monitor. No one. But the door moved. Just a little. Like it had caught a draft. But there's no vent near that door. I got up, walked back slowly, and as I passed the shelves near the hallway, I caught something in the corner of my eye through the convex mirror on the ceiling. A shadow. Brief. In the bathroom. When I got there, the door was slightly ajar. I pushed it open slowly, heart hammering. I could smell something. Something off. Like sweat. Old sweat and something metallic. Almost like blood. But not quite. The smell of an unwashed body. No one inside. I checked the ceiling, the vent under the sink. Nothing. But I couldn't shake the smell. I called the cops that night. Told them I thought someone might have been breaking in. They checked the place. Didn't find anything. Told me it was probably a transient, someone slipping in through the back lot and hiding until I left. But the back door is always locked. I've started locking the bathroom at night. No one uses it anyway. But 2 nights ago, I came in for my shift, and my manager asked if I'd been unlocking it during the day. I told him no. He said the morning staff keeps finding it unlocked. Worse, yesterday, the janitor found wet footprints inside. Bare feet. No one had used the bathroom that night, according to the log. He even took a photo. I saw it. A single set of prints. Bare. Human. They led from the sink to the toilet, and then stopped. No exit prints. No way someone could have walked in barefoot, and not left prints outside the bathroom, too. I don't know what to think anymore. I can't prove anything. The cameras never show more than flickers. I started turning off the hallway monitor after midnight. I'd rather not see it happen. Tonight's my last shift. I didn't quit. I just stopped showing up. But sometimes, I wake up around 2:30 a.m., and I swear I can see a thin line of light under my bedroom door. Like someone left the bathroom light on again. I drive nights for a living. Medical supply runs, mostly. I work for a third-party courier service contracted by clinics and hospitals. They load me up with boxes of meds, test kits, even blood bags sometimes, and I make the runs across counties. Most of my routes are quiet back roads and highways that feel like they haven't seen much traffic since the 90s. I've gotten used to the dark, the quiet, the hum of tires. Some people find night driving peaceful. I used to. Not anymore. It started 2 months ago on a Thursday. I remember because I'd just pulled an extra shift to cover for another guy. It was around 1:30 in the morning. I was driving through a long, dead stretch between 2 small towns. No lights, no gas stations, just black trees on both sides and nothing ahead but 2 skinny lanes of road. I had music playing low and was sipping from a cold coffee when I noticed something in the rear view. Just for a second, a flicker of movement in the back seat. I flinched, glanced back. Nothing there. I laughed it off. My eyes were playing tricks. Long hours, bad lighting. It happens. I turned the music up, refocused, and told myself to shake it off. But it happened again the next night. Same route. Same stretch of empty highway. This time I didn't just see something. I heard it. Breathing. I'd rolled the windows up, AC off. The cab was sealed and quiet. But I swear I heard this faint, raspy breath, like someone sitting just behind me. I looked in the mirror. Nothing. I pulled over fast, heart pounding, and jumped out with my flashlight. Checked the back seat, the trunk, the cargo bay. Empty. No sign of forced entry, no stowaway, no one hiding under boxes. Still, I drove the rest of the night with the dome light on. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to lose the job. You say weird stuff is happening during night runs and they start wondering if you're tired, maybe losing your grip. I needed the paycheck. The 3rd night, I saw him. I was maybe 40 miles from the nearest town, no cars around for miles. I glanced in the rear view and he was just there. A man sitting in the center seat of the back row, pale skin, dark eyes, no expression. I jerked the wheel in shock. The van swerved, nearly hit a guardrail. When I looked again, gone. I stopped in the middle of the road, hazard lights on. I ran out and opened the rear doors, shining my light everywhere. Again, nothing. But the seatbelt in the center seat was buckled. I hadn't touched it all week. I didn't drive the next night. Called out sick. Slept during the day with all the lights on. When I came back the following week, they gave me a different van. I thought it was over. But it wasn't the van. It was the road, same stretch. Same time, 2 in the morning. Now it wasn't just in the mirror. I'd feel it. This weight in the air. Pressure. Like being underwater. My ears would pop. The headlights would seem dimmer. Sometimes the radio would hiss and cut out completely, even when the station was strong, and then the shape would appear again, faint in the rear view. A man with his head tilted slightly, like he was watching the side of my face. Never blinking. Never moving. I started taking alternate routes, adding 30, sometimes 40 minutes to avoid that highway. But dispatch noticed. They started asking questions. I made excuses. Construction, traffic, detours. One night they told me to go back to the original route, or they'd reassign the run. So, I did. That night, the mirror showed something worse. He wasn't sitting anymore. He was leaning forward. Just enough that I could almost see the outline of his shoulder above the seat. His face was still hidden, but closer. I didn't check the mirror again after that. I tilted it upward, stared at the road, and drove like I was being chased, which, in a way, I was. A week later, something new happened. I dropped a delivery at a clinic just after 3 a.m. I stepped out, left the engine running, walked to the drop box, and heard the click of the passenger door unlocking. I turned just in time to see it open an inch. No one was there. I ran back, threw it open, and shined my light inside. But the passenger seat was wet, just a single spot, like someone had been sitting there with soaked clothes. Since then, it's gotten worse. Last night, I passed a mile marker near that highway's midpoint. I remember because it always has graffiti, black spray paint spelling gone. Just that word. Creepy, but whatever. This time, someone had scratched it out. Underneath was something new. He sees through glass. I kept driving. Didn't stop. Not until I was back in the city. Tonight's my shift again. Same route. I've already planned my detour. But here's the thing. I checked my mirror earlier, just out of habit. The road was empty, but the center seatbelt? It's buckled. Again. And it was unbuckled this morning. I'm sure of it. I haven't even started the engine yet. He's already in the van.